us today. And I also want to thank BancCentral for providing the building for us at the Chamber. We are so thankful for that building. I'm thankful for it. It's so easy to get into, and the exposure of us being on the boulevard is the best thing in the world. So Colin, if you have a couple of things that you'd like to say, go right
Other
ahead.
than welcome, I'm glad to be hosting the community coffee. I was excited that the topic of it was our educational sectors, because obviously as an organization we have a lot of employees that are graduates of all of these that we're going to hear about this morning and have benefited from, and I personally have also. So anyway, I think that's exciting, and it's a great topic for this morning. And so I'm going to turn it over to whoever, to you, I guess. But welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you so much. So speaking of the back to school, thank you, Dr. Cunningham. I don't know where Mr. Argo is at. But maybe he'll come in, and thank you for Darren Slater for coming. So whichever you guys, one of you guys want to start, we'll go for it. Thank you guys so much.
Well, we started school on Monday, and right now in this particular climate, that's a great thing, just to be able to say that you've started. I want to thank Kyle and all of the banks here in Alva in this community very much support the university, and that certainly does not go unnoticed. That is something that we count on, but we never take for granted, because we're just very grateful for the support that we get. And not only from the banks, but really the chamber in general, all of the businesses in Alva. It's tough to have a small town with 3 educational entities in it, because the businesses get hit up a lot by student groups and so on. Just to talk about the start of school a little bit, we are under no mandatory face coverings. Obviously, the governor has put that out there as something that we need to abide by, and so we have. I think the students and most of the faculty and staff are grateful for that. Last year was a little bit of a tough year. We went basically the whole year with mandatory face coverings until right after graduation in the spring. We certainly encourage people, if they feel like they want to wear face coverings, that's great, and we certainly don't have an issue with that. But we are pretty well back to normal, as normal as we can be. And, a good indication, right now we have 3 active COVID cases, 3 students. 2 of them were active before school started, so it's not like they came to school and then were exposed and came down with COVID. And we've had probably close to 100 football players here most of the summer, doing weight training programs, no cases that we know about. Of course, we rely on the students to tell us, to let us know. But we watch the numbers, and we watch what's happening in the state, and we watch CDC guidelines and so on, just almost on a daily basis to make sure we can adapt quickly to whatever the situation calls for. We're really excited that all of our athletic teams will be, at least at this point, competing on a more normal schedule than what happened last year. All of our sports competed except for football. Football last year just did a scrimmage, I believe at Fort Hays, but that was it, basically. All of our other sports had somewhat condensed schedules, and all of it happened in the spring, which is a little bit crazy when you think about that. 13 sports going on all at one time. We have our first football game is September 2nd. That's on a Thursday night, so hopefully a lot of you will be able to come out. We're hoping for big attendance, because people just have not had the opportunity to get out and cheer for the Rangers, so we're excited about that. And then all volleyball, our in-season sports are volleyball, football, soccer, and our cross-country teams. So they will all be happening in this first couple of months, and then we'll move into basketball, golf, the other sports that come into play. We're also excited to be able to have concerts and plays. I was walking back from an event Monday night. Our Howdy Week is this week, so we've had all kinds of nightly events for the students. They seem to be very well attended. They're excited too to be out and about. And a couple of students coming out of Ryerson Hall, and they said, President Cunningham, we just tried out for a play. So Professor Weiss, of course, is in charge of that, and that's a positive thing. I want to commend our faculty and staff both, because through the past 18 months, they have just been great about being very responsible and being not overreactive. I think you might have seen that in some other institutions of higher education. They're pretty calm, and but they do what we ask them to do, and that's perfect. So I'll take any questions. Enrollment is still, I think we have another day of enrollment today. You know, we're going to wait and see. We think we're down a little bit. I was on a conference call with my Russo colleagues, which are the other 5 Compass schools, and the numbers were not pretty. Actually, I felt better after being on that call. I think East Central said they were down 10%, which is a big number. UCO is down about 6.5, and so on. So we'll see where we come out. I haven't really heard anything about our 2 larger institutions in the state, OU and OSU, but I'm sure that information will be coming out pretty quickly. Caleb Mossberg, of course, is in charge of our recruitment staff, and it was a tough year there because there were high schools that maybe we couldn't get into and have access quite like we had in the past, and we really rely on that. We think if we can get our people to have face-to-face, one-on-one personal connections with prospective students, we seem to do pretty well. If you're trying to do all of that online in a virtual format, that does make it a little tougher. We plan to have our Ranger preview. Last year that was virtual, but that will be, Caleb?
November 13th.
November 13th. We just happened to be playing Southwestern on that date here. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that. But I'll take any questions if anybody has anything. And just one more thing, you know, we have our Alva incentive funds that, you know, were voted on, gosh, it's been quite some time now. That is a huge difference maker for us. It allows us to offer some scholarships that we wouldn't otherwise be able to. So I know all of you end up paying that ½ cent that it eventually gets to our students. So thank you for that. We appreciate it very, very much. Okay. I'll introduce Darren.
I should have went first. All about Cunningham. It's always a tough show. So anyway, I'll echo, I guess, what she said. Kyle, thanks for having us. I would tell you, Enid, Alva is unique in that we have 3 educational institutions, and the great thing about Alva is we all work together. I look around and see students that's been in the Tech Center, and they were at Alva High, and then they were with Dr. Cunningham at Northwestern, and so that partnership and that collaboration doesn't always happen in every community, and so I think that is a uniqueness to this one. I also share with the businesses that are represented, thank you, not only for supporting the Career Tech School, but for hiring our students. And I think that goes across all of our educational entities, and that really what we do can't be successful without what you guys do. Because you guys are kind of how that rubber and road meet, so you take the product that we have and hopefully put it to work. So thank you for that. We got started in school a week ago Wednesday, and so our school, I mean, you always hate to say these things, right now feels as normal can be. So you're always kind of taking that deep breath and thinking, what's what's around the corner, but every day leads to the next day, and one good day leads to two more. So we're excited about the start of school. Our programs at the Tech Center, I was visiting with the staff yesterday, and our enrollment numbers are up compared to probably last year and the previous year, and so we're really positive about that. Our electrical trades program, our automotive programs are both full this time, and so anyway, we have seen a growth in that. Some of that ebbs and flows off of our partner schools. As you may know, at our Alva campus, we serve Cherokee, Winoka, Freedom, and Alva, and so predominantly juniors and seniors, we do take some sophomores, and so a small class at one of those institutions then transfers over into a reduction of mere numbers that we have a chance to recruit from. So right now things look really good, but as we forecast down the line, we really hope that we have a sustained population and young people, because that's who we recruit from. I mentioned sophomores, juniors, and seniors, but the other thing at the Career Tech School, we also take adults, and so that's another half of what we serve. And so one of the unique things is if I'm a high school sophomore, junior, senior, I could be in class with somebody that's 19 to however old. There's not a limit of the learners, and so it gives a chance for those students to see the real world, and also brings in a little bit of maturity. I don't know how you guys were, but whenever I was getting my bachelor's degree, those adult students, I called those people curve setters. So as I looked around and thought, because their focus was a little bit different, where I was at that stage of my life. So those individual students bring a little bit of maturity, a little bit more focus, and so we really enjoy having adult students and our high school students together. We do have a few of those curve setters in there. At the Career Tech School, I'll mention we do have a few staff changes. Many of you may know Gina Kendrick, who has been our business manager. Gina's been with the district for 35 years. She's retiring here in September. I feel blessed during my tenure as superintendent that she's been with me for now 3, and I tried to chain her to the desk, but she keeps filing that thing too. But she'll be leaving us at the end of September, but our new financial director will be Ashley Sneary. And so Ashley's been with the district now for 6 or 7 years, and so we're excited about that transition. In our program area, we had an opening in our business and computer program, and we were able to add Pam Malone into our organization. Many of you may know Pam. She was a Northwestern graduate, grew up in Laverne, has been in Kiowa for a while teaching there, but have added her. Melanie Blackwood is in our practical nursing program. If you don't know Blackwood, Melanie Marshall was her maiden name, and so she's was in Las Vegas as a nurse and has moved back to the community. And so we were able to add her, had an opening in our practical nursing program. And then most recently to our Business and Industry Services Department, Adam Honeyman. Adam had been with the Woods County Sheriff's Department for several years, and he's working in that facet. So those are kind of some additions to staff that if you see wandering around that have a Northwest Tech name badge on. Yes, they are working for us full time now, so we are so excited to have them. Janet probably covered as well as I can about the COVID issues, and we're all in the same page. I think the high schools, the college, the tech center are all managing those the same way. That's a little bit different than how we had to do it last year, and hopefully from a parent standpoint, we're coming with a little bit more carrot than stick. If the phone rang last year and it was a Northwest Tech call or probably an Alva, we probably had more bad news. That if your child, if they had COVID, you probably knew that, but if they were a close exposure, we were probably calling to share that news. And with that came, some quarantine things. Now it's just informational that we're sharing with you. So maybe you as a parent can make better decisions. You can be more in tune with monitoring your students' health and then being more aware. So hopefully that we're collaborating, working better, and it feels more like a partnership than us just having the stick the whole time. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions. One other thing that I permitted, our Business and Industry Service Department, something new. So in October, we'll be hosting a statewide safety conference, and so we'll have folks from all across the states in the Career Tech system will be here October. I put it on my sheet here, October 3rd to the 6th. And so if you see a bunch of career tech folks from around the state here, welcome them. I always share because sometimes they think when they get to Alva that they reach the panhandle, and all of us know that that's not true, that there's a lot more left in Oklahoma. An interesting fact that was shared with me, because I always take the map of Oklahoma, and I said, you guys have finally reached the center of the state. So you take the Oklahoma map, fold it in half from east to west, and the creeks will be right here in Alva. And they're always amazed that there's that much more going on. I say, it's not very wide, but it's a long ways to the end. So anyway, it's good to have those folks in town and also see why we all enjoy living where we do. And so with that, I'll open up for questions if you have any. Not?
I'd just like to make a statement. As a chamber board member, we thank you for working with us and doing classes for our businesses in town also.
I appreciate that. And if we're not doing what you can call us, we'll try to do our best to do it.
Great job.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Jody, can I have Dr. Bell talk a little bit about the concert series, and maybe Dr. Pahey mention homecoming? We're having homecoming this year, so.
I'll go first, and Professor Wiest is really the brains of the operation, so jump in anywhere. But we do have 4 concerts this season. You'll see that the first one is Tuesday, September 14th. We're currently working on doing that at an outside location for a change. And then we have additional, the March 8th Superstar is the music of the Carpenters. We have January 18th, Gary Labini, and you'll see we actually adapted our season a little bit. Used to be 2 fall, 2 spring, and we really found that working around other university events and student schedules, this was a schedule that worked very well for us. So we've got an early January, March, and an April event, the music event Mancini. We have season tickets again for sale for $50 for all 4. For $50 for all 4 shows, or you can buy at the door, and I believe it's $20 at the door, so you can really see the value of getting a season ticket. We also have opportunities to serve as a patron at different levels and have reserved seating. There's some name in the program. We're doing more of a virtual program this year, and so but there's still that opportunity, of course, and we appreciate always the support that the city gives us and that the community gives us and the university gives us, because while we have a lot of, the university ends up with a lot of practical things, we have community members from the surrounding communities as well as Alva, and it is an entity unto itself. So, anything else you would add?
No, we'd just love to have people come. We try to bring in really phenomenal groups and with diversity. And if you have ideas, please contact Dr. Bell or myself. And I had someone yesterday ask if we could bring a group in, and I pleasantly and respectfully said, well, they cost $100,000. So, we can't do that. But thank you for the suggestion. So please do put in suggestions, and if we can, and we are indebted as the Northwest Oklahoma Concert Series to the Sher Morton Trust. They give us a donation every 2 years, and truthfully, that's the backbone of how this concert series has continued.
Talk a little bit about homecoming. I'm the chairman of Northwestern's Homecoming. It's a committee that's made up of both Northwestern and community volunteers. We've actually been meeting all year and putting those things together. Homecoming will be October 7th, 8th, and 9th, and all of the normal activities and traditions that we've had as part of Homecoming for years are back on the schedule again this year. We've confirmed Miss Oklahoma will be the Master of Ceremonies on the Cinderella pageant on Friday night. The parade, of course, Saturday morning at 10. We already have our homecoming buttons here. Karen Kane chairs our button salespeople. So if she hasn't contacted you, she probably will. And the biggest thing I may want to say with this group, and I know many businesses in here participate, there's an incentive with those buttons for a lot of discounts with our local merchants. And that has truly impacted in a positive way the button sales for homecoming, because that's the only source of revenue that we have is the sale of that homecoming button. So those merchants that have graciously volunteered something from their store or their business or their operation contributes back to Northwestern and to that homecoming committee, so we appreciate that.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to report?
I would report on BancCentral. I think everybody who's a resident of Alva should have gotten a postcard for Kayla's Kindness Project. That's BancCentral's third quarter, I guess, vision. So right now she's collecting funds, or BancCentral is collecting funds at each of the local banks in Alva. Each bank is a donation location, so if you want a safe, secure place to donate, that's the place to go. Central has generously opted to match up to $1,500 of their customers donating. Community will do $500, and Alva State will do $1,500. And then Hopeton will do whatever comes in, not whatever, but they will judge it by their donation. So if you are interested, that's a really great project. She's raising money for gifts that she takes to hospitals for people to get through whatever they're going through, to try to just give them some uplift while they're there. So it's a very neat project. And this girl goes after it. So that's why BancCentral selected this program, because she works really hard at promoting her project and getting lots of things going with it. So it's a good one.
Anybody else? Well, Emma and I were talking that if you guys are not getting our newsletter, get with her, and because she sends out a weekly of events that are happening, so we're so thankful that Emma's able to do that for us. So get with her if you're not getting the emails, and we've just got a lot going on in September and October. We have piled everything together, and we're excited for homecoming, the big cruiser car show. We have a new mural fest. Erin, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. I'm with the Alva Mural Society, and this is our first year we're going to do the Northwest Mural Fest. So we're bringing 3 new artists, one from Tulsa, 2 different groups from Enid, and one will be on the south side of the city building, the north wall of the co-op, and then the north wall of Exotic Heatwave. And those murals will be really, really fun, lots of color. So we're really excited. So if you can be there, we know we have family day in the morning time and the game that evening. But if you can just go into those locations, we'll have food trucks down on the square in the afternoon, and also a Meet the Artist event Friday night at the Graceful Arts Center. And then the mural artists will sign their murals Sunday in the afternoon time. So really excited to bring some more diverse art to the area.
Is there a 5K with that on?
Yes, we are doing it. It starts at 8 a.m. We're working on the route. Dana Rourke and Westline Ritter are working really hard on that. We'll also have t-shirts. Starts at 8 a.m. So if you're a morning person, get on down there.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming. We appreciate it. And next month will be September 17th at VAP. So we're excited for that. And they'll probably give us some tours and make some yummy food for us. So.
And we got done a little bit early, but so everybody don't leave till you go back through and get some more food and drink and everything else. We don't want any leftovers. Welcome to stay around as long as you'd like.